afternoon, good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, whatever time it is for you right now. Just know that you are here with
Notes.
and the king, and this is
What
the
the
fact. We got to work on our timing for that one, buddy. How you doing today, Notes?
I'm feeling hale and hearty.
Hail and okay. Well, that's another episode for another day.
It is.
Can you let the people out there know where they can find you, my man?
Yeah, notes from Dystopia on Instagram and Twitter.
All right. You guys can find me at King Hussein on IG. And especially on To the Point. If you need your Raptors and your basketball fix, that's where I eat, sleep, live, and breathe. So you guys can find me there. But notes, this week it's your turn.
My turn to come up with something, right? Yeah, I had a tough time this week. I don't know. I was really like racking my brain. I got to blow this guy's mind. And then it kind of came to me at the last minute. This not so fun fact. Sort of terrifying, really. It's a terrifying fact.
Hey, hit me, brother. I know.
Well, I'm sure you do, but I'm going to ask, and this is for the viewers out there too. Look, do you know what a parasite is?
Oh, that's a woman that lives with you for over many years and takes all of your money. No, I'm kidding. That's just a joke. But it's the same idea. I know what a parasite is. Parasite is a living organism that can live within the human body or any sort of living species and use their body for their own benefit while degrading that body that they're living within. It actually, can I say this one? The word parasite, I could speak a little bit of Greek. So it comes from the word parasitos, which means which means someone sitting at your table eating your food.
I did not know that. That's amazing. Come to my house, you sit at my table, you eat my food, and then you're like all up inside me?
Yeah, it kind of sounds like I have family members like that. But anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it might have been a familiar concept to the Greeks as well.
Yes. But do you want to hit me with something?
Yeah. Well, there's all sorts of weird and amazing animals and organisms out there, but there's a sort of, especially in parasites, there's all sorts of kinds of ones that are relatively harmless. They're just kind of swimming around in your ecosystem, taking what they need and not really bugging you too much. Lice.
No pun intended.
Lice is a good example. I mean, sorry, was that another joke there?
Yeah, you made the joke.
Okay.
It was bugging. No pun intended.
Where lice are maybe gross or not cool, but they're not really harmful or long-term effects. But there's a branch of parasites that they call zombie parasites.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to get at. Okay, go on. Please. I'm excited.
He's good. So there's all sorts of different kinds out there. But what really terrifies me are the type of parasites that basically take over the central nervous system and brain of the host animal. That is just terrifying. Like out of a horror movie, basically.
Yeah, it's something that I would like prefer to see in fiction, but after the research on this topic, because all you told me, and ladies and gentlemen, all you told me was parasites.
Well, yeah, we're gonna talk about parasites.
So what I've seen is it's actually pretty crazy that a little parasite can get into an insect and have this insect turn rogue and go nuts on a possibly a mammal or some sort of species that lives above ground and get into their head from that. That is very terrifying. What do you think the trajectory is of this, or what can we do to maybe stop this shit?
Well, it's happening on such a large scale in the animal kingdom. I'm not sure there's too much we can do about it in that regard. And as far as humans go, and this is kind of a big question that I wanted to touch on. We're largely we're such complicated organisms that we're largely immune to the most devastating effects. These are often very, these are crickets and beetles who, as complex as they are, have very simplified central nervous system, simplified digestive system.
Pretty dumb.
And and not exactly the smartest. So sort of locked into their own behavior cycle. But I'm going to touch on that in a second. I just wanted to talk about some of the more terrifying ones first.
Uh-oh. Ebola?
Ebola is a virus.
Okay. Cool.
So the ones that you were talking about, for example, there's the horsehair worm,
Okay.
which is a waterborne parasite. You get it from drinking water, and that's where it incubates.
Yes.
But once you drink the water, the larvae gets into the digestive system of the host. In this case, a lot of grasshoppers and crickets, sometimes spiders, and sometimes even amphibians. I've seen frogs infected with this. But what happens is these worms gestate inside you, and then they start to grow out of your eye sockets, like tentacles coming out of your eye sockets, and you are drawn to the water where you will eventually drown yourself.
Ladies and gentlemen, watch those YouTube videos where you see people pulling those worms out for God knows how. That's interesting.
And that's the life cycle. So it's born in the water, it infects a host, it drives the host to, once it matures, it drives the host to drown itself back in the water, where the life cycle starts again.
Did you ever, okay, speaking of that worm thing, man, did you, like, does this have, could it possibly be from, like, the same family of, like, I guess you could say, like, tapeworms? Like, because
I mean, tapeworms are parasites. There's
yes.
all sorts of stuff in our digestive system.
Yeah, but they start off as, like you said, larvae, and then they just feed and grow and grow and grow
and grow and grow. And if you have animals, you deworm them at least once a year, dogs, cats, and whatever. But I'm not sure why humans don't have a similar protocol. We're just as susceptible to those type of things. So my other question is that I'm going to lead to, well, I might as well get to it now, is that we've talked about the zombie parasites with these really, really dramatic psychological effects. But the fact is that some of the other parasites have psychological effects as well, perhaps less dramatic. The most common parasite in North America certainly is called Toxoplasmosis gondii, and it's from cat poop.
Oh yeah,
and it's
this shit smells.
Yeah, and if you don't clean your hands properly after cleaning the litter, or the cat's been near your food, or all sorts of easy ways to get it, they think 40 to 60% of North Americans are infected with Toxoplasmosis gondii. And
go on.
And for the large part, it's mostly asymptomatic, but it has been linked to depression.
Cat ladies.
Yeah. Well, here's the funny thing. They link it to depression in men and sort of hypersexualization in women. And there's also some studies that link it to schizophrenia.
Okay.
So that is kind of what I've been thinking about lately is, are there less dramatic psychological effects that the parasites who live within us might have on our brain and nervous system?
Just said something there that made me think for a second. And it do you think it could possibly be like a symbiotic relationship between that parasite and the cat? Like somehow they kind of need each other, but at the end of the day, it affects us as human beings.
It's affecting us as human beings just because, kind of like as bystanders, because we love cats and everyone's got a cat in their house or knows someone that has a cat in their house.
But it's
I
symbiotic.
was, and here's the, oh, sorry, here's the other really neat thing. Yeah, it's very symbiotic, and here's how it is symbiotic. Toxoplasmosis gondii exists, like all things, to reproduce itself. Here's how it reproduces itself. If it gets into us, nothing happens. It dies inside of us. We don't continue it in any way. However, it affects mice.
Whoa! So that's why kitty catties are always going after the mousy mouse.
Here's what it does to mice. It makes them less fearful. And some studies have shown that it causes them to be attracted to cat urine.
Mm.
So less afraid of cats, attracted to the places where cats are, with the inevitable result of being eaten by the cat.
But still, back to the question: do you think the cats need that in order to survive?
No, it's just exploiting I think a mutual benefit. Cats want to eat mice. The parasites want to survive, so they found a good vector.
It's the circle of life. Yeah, let's hold up Simba.
Yeah,
that
the symbiotic.
Yeah, that big feline. Notes. There's something else I want to ask you about this. Okay, we're aware of parasites, but there is also what we as human beings encounter, and a lot of species in the animal kingdom encounter bacteria. Now, how would you grade bacteria to something parasitic?
Well, I mean, the different part of the animal kingdom. Bacteria are living beings. It's a stretch to call them a being, but they are living organisms. Yes. They're not necessarily parasitic. Bacteria is how you make yogurt.
Yep.
Amongst other things, but there's all sorts of positive uses in bacteria, negative uses. Bacteria can infect you, but they can also
hurt you.
Ebola. Yeah, but yeah. What's going on?
Nothing. I think I might get it.
Yeah.
I'm just joking, ladies and gentlemen. The other thing I want to ask you too is, like, there are, for the definition of parasite, is something for their own benefit that can harm the host.
Correct. Right? Detrimental.
But, however, what would you consider those parasites? And I'm sorry to freak you guys out right now, but there are thousands of bugs, microscopic bugs, crawling up and down your skin at this current moment.
Okay? Great minds think alike.
Thank you. They are crawling. And would you think there's a possibility that if you were to ingest one of those, or maybe there's some that are on you that can, I'm going to say it, I've said it before on our first show, fuck you up?
Yeah, I mean, with the microscopic nature of these organisms, unless there's major issues with your own personal cleanliness, aren't going to cause any problems. My personal favorite is Demodex, also known as the eyelash mite.
Yeah,
which are absolutely microscopic. Every single person has them on their face. If you have a beard, you probably got some in there too. So the way I look at it is, hey, you're never truly alone.
Aw,
You know, you've got
aw,
friends.
oh, we're
You
on a
got friends
good
with you wherever
note.
you go.
Aw,
Cute
that's
little
what I.
Demodex.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen out there, don't be scared. You're never alone. If
Yeah,
you don't have, if you don't have any parasites or any bacteria, you got us. So, notes before we get out of here, I just got one last question.
sure.
Can we differentiate between? I don't think we got into this, but can we differentiate between the parasitical organisms and the bacterial organisms on a cellular note?
On a cellular, that's a question for a scientist, not a casual midwit like myself. Uh, you know, we're literally filled with bacteria. We have our own bacteria. You know, you've got your flora, your stomach flora, and all sorts of things within your own system that serve very useful purpose. You know,
What
people
do you
have to get
say?
those poop transfusions when they have stomach surgery and stuff like that, or when they've had an excessive round of antibiotics.
Well, you
Um,
see, the the sorry, go
oh
on.
no, no, that's about it. I mean, you know, a parasite is essentially harmful. It's either negligible or detrimental. Whereas bacteria can have a positive effect. There's
Yeah,
good and bad bacteria.
don't women take a yogurt for their monthly thing? I don't know.
Yeah, probiotics is important for your digestive system. Like absolutely. And you were speaking Greek earlier. I mean, there's Greek families that have been cultivating the same yogurt bacteria for centuries. A
Yeah.
single living organism that they constantly cycle and use a bit of to make the next. You know, one of my coworkers' family brought it with them when they came to North America.
Hmm.
Um,
Interesting.
yeah,
I think it's interesting that they're I don't know if anybody's taken biology in school or if you went to school or you skipped and had a smoke and a drink. But but in biology, the bacteria is there's two types of cells. There's the ones with the square wall, well not square, rectangular wall around it, the membrane, and then there's the one with the circle, which goes through mitosis and expands. The ones with the square wall necessarily don't do that as much. So that's the difference. The circle hits the square. Didn't we crack that joke earlier?
circle gets the square.
Right? But the
Yeah.
circle is the one that'll get you, and the square one is the one that'll keep you most of the time, keep you good. I actually have a funny story, just a little quick anecdote that a friend of mine, they were newlyweds years ago, years and years ago. They were newlyweds, they just had a kid, they kept the kid away from anything that could possibly be dirty. The kid had to end up in a bubble for a little bit, and the doctor told them, you have to expose this kid to bacteria so your body can build an immune
Defenses.
system for it,
Yeah.
right? So the second kid, oh damn man, that kid's playing in the dirt all the time, right? My little nephews, but they're yeah, so there is something there like on how bacteria can be beneficial, but you brought up parasites, man. Now I'm scared with the zombie shit.
Yeah. Like what happens if they mutate that they can infect humans and maybe they are. And maybe that's happening right now. And there's zombie like parasite people walking around.
Yeah, like at
I,
Mar-Lago.
I think about that stuff. Well, don't even talk about my boy like that.
I'm joking. I'm just cracking jokes. Anyway, but yeah. Oh man. So notes before we get out of here, dude. Do you have anything you would love to say to finish this off? This is completely your topic. I'm just like all of you out there just learning and listening and asking questions on behalf of you guys. So, notes, can you tell us something else or tell us whatever the hell you feel? This is your time to shine.
Just as quickly as I can, there is a medicine out there that was developed by Japanese scientists that found bacteria in a certain type of soil that a configuration of which only occurs in Japan. I believe they found it on a golf course. It's true. And it's an antiparasitic that they developed for animals, but they quickly realized that it had an uh, equally beneficial effect on humans, and in fact won the Nobel Prize for that discovery. It's one of the most important medications on the World Health Organization's list of, like 100 best medicines for mankind. It's cheap. It's at this point a generic medication. It's saved thousands and maybe millions of lives from river blindness, which is a parasite-driven illness in Africa. And it's basically banned in North America now.
Ooh,
And it's called ivermectin.
ooh. Let's get into that in Notes on Dystopia.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's
That just look that up, folks.
yeah. Damn, Notes. You're killing it with this today. Oh my goodness.
Parasite people are trying to take over.
The zombies are coming. It's The Walking Dead. All I'll say is fuck that shit. I'll be Rick Grimes right there getting at you. Okay. Okay.
No, Carl, no.
Carl! Carl! All right, Notes.
All right, we
This
out.
has been good. I'll probably see you later today.
Yeah.
So, ladies and
Drop
gentlemen,
by the lab.
yeah, thank you for enjoying this and spending your time with us. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you for clicking subscribe. Thank you for clicking like, leaving comments, hitting us back, because you might know better than us. We just a couple guys on
Disagreeing.
YouTube talking shit.
Yeah.
So you guys can find Notes at
Dystopia.
there you go. And you can find me at King Hussein and at To The Point. So on behalf of myself and Notes, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, and
Peace.